Hello again. And let me start this video with this picture right here. You can find it yourself, just put in Google Yo decido, meaning I decide. This is 2012. I remember this election, and you'll probably remember that election. And it says why Latinos will pick the next president, right? So this is, of course, was basically aimed at the internal voters in the US. However, those of you who were tracking that back then and maybe even watch some of the conservative media, talking about Fox News here, there was some concerns about, okay, so we get it, Obama is going for Hispanics. I get it. Time and all the liberal, what they call them, right? Media. And again, I'm talking bipartisan right here. That, they want Hispanics on their side. And there was this argument like, but wait, what if we're given the choice, not just American Hispanics, right? Because people live here in the US, to pick the next president, but all of the Hispanics in the world to pick the next president. And of course, there's my master's degree in Homeland Security. One of my like papers over there was about southern border and blah 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 blah. I wasn't like all crazy panicky like you can hear right now. Many people do it, but I was still saying, that has some kind of a some validity to it. And I used Ukraine as an example, and now I'm using US as the example to show you what was going on in Ukraine. Let's tie it all together. So this morning I did completely different video. I actually wanted to do it like some kind of a funny video or whatever, just to show the old Russian ladies that trying to go not back to USSR but forward to USSR, and how Ukrainians don't want to be that way. As I was starting the video, my Telegram started blowing up, like literally seconds before I started recording the video. The news came out that Ukrainian politician who defected, let's let's talk about it more. But yeah, sure, defected from Ukraine to Russia a month before the war, that the recent invasion, and he was assassinated in Moscow. So in like super secure compound of like private housing, blah blah blah. He was assassinated, this guy right here. So, and I'm reading the Western media about it, all the English speaking, English articles about it, and there's some of them saying, like, hey, here you go, the assassinations of politicians in the same direction as Vivek Ramaswamy, for example, during the Republican debates. Last ones said that Zelensky and Ukrainian government, it's not really that democratic. They're going against Christian, meaning pro-Russian wing of the Orthodox Church. They go against politicians. They go against the media. They go against all this stuff. So back to the article, back to my paper for my Homeland Security classes, and back how I was trying to prove the point of that it is a legitimate danger for Hispanics, for pushing for Hispanics, because who will vote, for example, a person that lives in the US and his mother and grandmother and uncle and aunt live in Mexico or Honduras or Colombia or any other countries, and they watch their TV. And I, did some citations of how on the national Mexican TV at the time, the president, and there was the whole political talk shows where they were explaining how Obama was better for Mexico. And they were like, it's almost like it was like what Russians doing right now was their talk shows, but they were influencing those people here, so those Hispanics who lived in the US, to go and vote the way that not they want to, but their relatives living in Mexico want to. And they were like, again, I don't want to, I want to be bipartisan, but this is the argument I was then doing in the paper, and I was saying, see what's going on in Ukraine right now. This is 2012. Crimea is still Ukraine and on all that. I was saying that Ukraine does not allow dual citizenship. I did not have a dual citizenship. In the United States Army, I was on a counterintelligence unit. I had the top secret TSSCI clearance. So I had to prove them that I don't have the citizenship of another country. I only have the US citizenship. And to prove that, basically just pull out Ukrainian laws regarding the dual citizenship. It says specifically that if you join a foreign military, you lose your Ukrainian citizenship automatically. Why is that? Because of Russia. Because Russia actually, it's extremely difficult for Russians to relinquish their citizenship. Russians trying to there's two reasons. They're trying to hold their citizens out there as a tool to influence whatever. But also they want bribes, simple bribes. I was in if you look right there, you see that there's an American flag and there's a Russian flag. So I was in a nuclear arms treaty. And we work with Russians, and we had a bunch of people from Russia. US military personnel, different services. We had a couple Navy guys, a couple Army guys, but they were from Russia. And for them to go to do inspections in Russia, they have to get, we had, you saw it probably there's diplomatic passports. And we had to get the visa in our Russian visa in our diplomatic passports. Russians saying, nope, just use your Russian passport, you're still a citizen. He says, he or she says, I'm an American soldier or, airman. I need to go to do work and I have my diplomatic, passport. I don't have my Russian passport. And no, just use it. So Russians are really, really difficult. One guy actually got his Russian citizenship revoked, but he had to go and pay and fly to another state to do it in the consular because the consulate in San Francisco could not do it. So it was like it's Russia. But in Ukraine, you lose your citizenship automatically because of the threat from Russia. And Russia was influencing Ukraine like that forever. I mean, they were influencing, more during the whole man-made famine and all that. But now they're influencing it, now they influenced with the weapons again. But in the 90s, 2000s, it was influencing through these guys who we just saw. Well, anyway, we will talk in my videos who is who in Russia-Ukraine war. There's another guys that I will be showing that they call themselves Ukrainians. They even speak Ukrainian language. They even hold a Ukrainian office. They, they're called journalists in Ukraine, but they even get paid by Ukraine. However, that is just peanuts. Their real salary comes from Russia. If you are a politician, if you're pro-Russian politician, you get way better corruption schemes than if you are just a Ukrainian politician in Ukraine, because Russia will let you do that. For example, like transit of natural gas, through the Ukraine. Russia knows who's tapping into it and stealing some gas. If you pro-Russian, they'll let you do it. It's a whole shebang because they want you to be on the hook. They have everything on you. So if you play this corruption game with Russia, and again, Ukraine is a corrupt country, but when you're talking about corruption in Ukraine, you're looking into this whole Russian connection, mafia, this whole thing. We will talk about it on this channel, but it's most likely related to Russia somehow. Russian prison gangs, Russian government gangs, all that. That's all kind of like this spider web of that. And many politicians, many people, not just politicians, many people that they got, some of them got brainwashed and some of them just bought into this whole, you know, I'll just be with Russia. I don't care. Russia will pay more. We've been with Russia for a while, so, what's, maybe it's, gonna be the same thing when Russia take over, but I get paid more, and I'll get the political office, in Russian. And then obviously, if you are in the political office in Russia, you have corruption schemes, like you are a billionaire pretty much. You see all the billionaires, they're all politicians. So in Russia. So what I was saying is that another thing, I kind of like went away from this a little bit, but another thing how Russia was influencing everybody in Ukraine and decisions and all that is through the family members, through the TV. I remember there was a movie called Brother, and there was a second movie, super anti-American, Brother 2. And that movie was a super hit. First movie is basically like this guy, Russian guy, simple dude, comes back from Chechnyan war and how he fights like mafia, in Russia to save his brother. But in the second Brother movie, he comes to the US. You see, they're sitting right here in Chicago or something, and how he fights not just the American government, American gangs. He fights American black gangs in there. He frees this Russian prostitute from there, this one right here, and then he kind of goes after this corrupt, big money billionaire, American billionaire, the owner of the hockey team, because obviously there's a hockey involved in there. So this movie, but again, it was such a racist movie against black people. It was such a and every name, like Ukrainians got put down in this movie, Americans, who else? Oh, any people from the south, even in Russia, like Chechnya and all that. So it's like, and a lot of these phrases right now is actually like used. Matter of fact, one of his phrases, the main character, his phrases are used right now in Ukraine war, like Russians will not leave their own behind, even though they're leaving a lot of them behind. And this guy says when he was in this building, he was trying to shoot off against the Chicago police. He was in a shoot off, and then they're like, "Hey, Russian, give up," and he's like, "No, Russians never give up." It's also another big phrase, right now, even in war. And even some of the stickers from the movie that they put on their vehicles, and then their patches made, they put on their the bulletproof vests over there when they in Ukraine. So why I'm saying that, all the things that you hear from Ukraine, all the negative things, is that right now how Ukrainian government is trying to stomp on all this Russian influence through the church, through the political figures, through the TV, through the journalism, through everything. It's just Ukraine finally using it, this war, this recent invasion, they're using it as a thing that, okay, this is our chance to stomp it out. Because before they couldn't. Like, even if they would go against the Russian wing of the Orthodox Church, that would be like crazy. That's pretty much a call for aggression from Russia. Russians always try to say, we're gonna defend our Russian speaking, blah blah blah, Russian culture on Ukraine and blah 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 blah. So this is what we will talk on this channel. I will pick again little things and I will explain them so that people can understand the whole picture. Right now, it's as my channel is getting established, I just want to do clarification on this guy who got assassinated today, which is not a bad thing. He actually was once he was fighting against Russians, and he was known quoting that he will raise his kids to hate Russians. That's what he was saying, like, I don't know, 8 years ago. But then he went to pro-Russian political party of the, of a dude whose kid's godfather is Putin himself. And he betrayed Ukraine, and he became right now he became like a slanderer on Russian TV. They even gave him his own channel, his own program on one of the Russian prime channels. So he was spewing the anti-Ukrainian, just lies, straight up. He said on the national TV several times that Zelensky is killed, Zaluzhny, the general in Ukraine, is killed, the Ukrainian chief of intelligence is killed, and he's using all this. He's saying, "I have my information. This is proof. This is," and then obviously he's wrong. And his last message on Telegram was that, Zelensky should hang himself because if Trump gets elected, then Zelensky will be given to Russians to do whatever they want with it. So he should kill himself before that happens. But now this guy is not there anymore to say things like that. So again, one of those spontaneous videos, and thank you all for watching. Thank you for giving me a chance to start my English speaking channel, because it is a little bit difficult. Even though I was doing YouTube for 6 years now, still doing this whole English and plus all this information, it will get better. My first 2 years of guitar reviewing channel was like terrible, but still people liked it and watched it and smash the like button and all that. I hope you all do the same. See you in the next video.